Hey everyone, this is Darius from the Shotcaller, and I'm very honored to be with Carlos from
Thank
G2.
you very much.
How are you doing?
Very
you just
good.
won your very first game against Misfits. Does it feel good?
It feels amazing. It feels amazing because, even if you win 4 times in a row, you never. I mean, if you see me, I was in the audience, right, watching with them. I was like so nervous. Every single time there was something happening, a team fight, someone pushing, I was just so nervous. I was like, oh no. And so it never gets old, that feeling of every game. Every single game counts, and we had to win it. It was the first game.
And you never get tired of winning anyway, right?
Well, you can never get tired of winning.
And at points it was really close. Hansama really popped off at one point, was 4-0 and stuff. And then Cho'Gath happened and just click delete.
It's incredible how people kind of underestimate Wanderer. I mean, everyone knows he's good, but kind of still underestimate Wanderer because he is incredibly good. Okay. Like incredibly good, and people, I think slowly will realize, that mechanically and in terms of brain, like his TPs, honestly, it's just very, very, very good. People don't get it yet. Yeah, they will.
He had his off games at Splice when he wasn't doing so well, but now he gets to play with a superstar team, with Perks and Yankos and Chanunmu did. Let's talk about this, of course. Sven and Mithi went to NA. That happened. Trick.
Wait, did they go to NA? Is it?
I don't know that region. They never get out of groups anyway. So
I didn't know whether. I have no idea.
And Trick and Expect are not with the team anymore. You had to completely revamp.
New stuff today.
You had to completely revamp the team, right? I mean, what went through your head at that point? We have to pick up new players right now. Who do we go for? What did you do in that situation? Did you stress out, or were you already set on? Okay, that bot lane looks good.
So on one hand, you have both sides of the spectrum, right? You have on one hand the normal stress from knowing. I mean, we are not stupid, right? I know when the contracts run out, and I know it 1 year and a half or whenever it's signed before. But I plan ahead. I'm a good businessman. I'm supposed to be a good businessman, right? So I plan ahead. I had my plans on the side, and on the other hand, I didn't have stress because this is we have 12 teams right now in G2 esports, and every single one of those 12 teams has been revamped over and over and over, and they still kept winning. So I think it's all about talent management, talent acquisition, understanding talent, understanding games, understanding design, understanding mechanics, understanding who can be good, understanding all those aspects that make us quite good, I think, at being an organization. And I wasn't worried about us not having a good team. Furthermore, Perks is, he's loved by the community and he's loved by the players themselves. Okay. They know how driven he is. They know how focused he is with his goals. So, of course, everyone wants to play with Perks too. So for me, it was very clear we want to have a really good team. And it's a shame, of course, if you ask me, would you have kept Mithi and Sven under the right conditions? Probably the answer would have been yes, because they're an incredible bot lane. But I'm telling you right now, I feel with this team like I never felt with a League of Legends team before. Okay. I feel like this team can accomplish so much. And also, as you probably saw in the previous content piece we created a few weeks ago, we have long-term contracts with them, like really long-term contracts with them, which
Perks
means
until like 2022 or something.
It's like 3 years contract Perks. Like you see, all these stars at incredible contract lengths, which means that they will be sticking together and they will be learning. The problem sometimes is that when a player has 1 year contract, if a problem appears, they automatically connect the dots and say, well, why do I need to fix this if in 3 months I can leave?
I can just join a different team anyway.
Exactly. So when you are forced, you're never forced to, right? Because you can always request a trade. But when you're forced to remain with the team, your mind automatically puts itself into you go into the offensive, you go into the, I have to make this team work somehow. And then is when the magic happens. Because first is resistance, first is the losses, and then it's learning how to become a team. There will be bad moments. They will choke at some point, and how they overcome that is the key. And the fact that all of them have long-term contracts is going to definitely help them overcome that. Because something they're gonna be like, okay, guys, this is what it is. You have to fix this. Let's go, And I feel like that's beautiful and that's underestimated again. by the vast majority of the community, which is normal. But I can tell you, I don't underestimate it, and I know how valuable it is. With the 12 teams we have, this has worked over and over, and it will work now.
You reckon that this will establish itself? Because obviously, like in traditional sports and football or soccer, I guess, to the Americans, these long contracts are pretty normal. 3-year, 4-year contracts. In esports, however, like a 1-year contract is the normal.
It is normal, though,
because... Do you think it will establish itself, these longer term?
The reason why long-term contracts were not common up until now is because the vast majority of esports teams are a shithole. That's the truth, right? That's the truth. You don't want to sign 3 years with a shithole. Yeah. You will not see any players signing 3 years with a very bad organization, unless he literally just didn't look at the contract and just, whatever. Which means that as time goes by and players recognize which ones are the proper organizations, which ones you can trust. You look at the big five, right? Yep. Which are, not in this particular order, but the big five will be TSM, Cloud9, G2, Fnatic, Team Liquid, right? No one would mind signing 3-year contracts with any of those organizations because they know that these organizations are powerful. They have backing. They are smart business-wise. They will not go out of business from one day to another. So all these things play a big role. They are ambitious. They want always to have the best possible team. They are good people generally. So this is important. And until you find that level of trust, you will not be able to sign for more than a year. And now it's the moment when players and agents of those players are starting to understand how valuable it is for the industry as a whole, that first of all, these organizations keep existing and each day more and more, hopefully by us inspiring the rest of the organizations to step up their game, which I think we're doing. And two, because when you have long-term contracts, it automatically creates another market, which is the buyout market. And the buyout market makes agents extremely wealthy. Yeah. And wealthy agents means that the agent can get incredible legal background and incredible legal teams behind every deal, which will automatically improve the contracts and will automatically... You see, everything is part of a whole circle. So
and it will professionally and...
Exactly. That's how traditional sports work. And Rome wasn't built in a day, although in esports it seems like it's being built in maybe 4 days.
Yeah,
it's quite fast.
Everything, yeah.
So I would be optimistic. Things are moving quite fast.
Let's talk a bit about G2 as a whole, as a brand, not just the League of Legends side here, because you are a proper entrepreneur. You're in 12, you have 12 different teams, of course. You have some of the most amazing traditional sports people that have joined G2. Fernando Alonso, Andre Gomez. Some of these people,
and people that we haven't even mentioned.
Oh, okay.
We have incredible people that we haven't mentioned. Yeah,
we're getting excited, and we saw you at the La Liga Santander meeting. You posted pictures of that. You are really going around and getting these immense figures into esports. What is your secret? Is it just always keeping a smile and a good attitude, or just
these people smell through the bullshit quite quickly, right? So if you just go with your smile and come in and say your 3-4 words, you're gonna end up, badly. They will not spend any time with you, and essentially, probably impossibly, any money, right?
Okay.
But I think what I do very well is to show the people what esports truly is. I tell both sides of the story. I tell the beautiful face of esports, and I tell the negative face of esports. But the negative face of esports, for anyone that is smart and has made money with their businesses and has made created value with their businesses, anyone with that kind of mindset understands that where there's a challenge, there's an opportunity. In other words, if you buy today the Apple stock, it may not grow too fast. It's going to grow a lot too fast. Yeah. But if you grow a €1 per share stock and it grows over the course of 3 years to €100, right? Then you essentially have €100 for every euro you have, right? Yeah. And you can only find those opportunities by looking at underdeveloped industries. And esports is not underdeveloped, but it's on its course to be developed, which means that buying in is cheaper than what it should be, because things are going to grow very fast. So you're coming in, asset appreciation increases, and overall your investment multiplies, by plenty. So that's what I'm able to portray to these people, and I think that's what allows us to get these people on board. And in other words, sometimes they are arrogant enough to ask me this question of why would we invest in you, right? Or why we, and then you know, it kind of gets kind of personal and emotional at times, you know, because I know the value of esports, and I think I very much know the value of these traditional sports too, right? And while they're in decadence and we are, you know, upwards, and the technology, I have all these pretty basic context that anyone that follows esports will have it. I clearly tell them, look, like, you have two options, right? Either you buy into this right now, or I buy you tomorrow. Right? That is the only truth, right? So it may seem kind of over the top, but I'm of course simplifying, you know, and I think that esports is definitely going to the right place, and these people coming in only accentuates that.
Fair enough. Specifically about perks, one thing I've been wondering, and we talked very quickly on Twitter about this. You
mean the protagonist of Prison Break?
Yeah, with his new buzz cut and everything. Yeah, was that his decision? Was that how did?
What do you think? I tell the players, you have to take a haircut. Take a haircut.
No, maybe he lost the bet.
Now you have to be Channing Tatum. No, I don't tell him. No, it was no. I like it actually. Ladies like it. Honestly, you'll be surprised.
Okay, so shout out to you guys. Get a buzz cut and that will work. But he has now a massive contract. Do you want him to build him into this Messi figure, this figure of G2? You know.
Before he joined G2, do you know Perks?
No.
Do you know Perks today?
Of course, everyone knows
I think there's a before and after. So it's a clear before and after. You know, we will keep building his brand, and we keep creating content with him, and we keep pushing Perks down your throats. You know, positively, of course. And hopefully, you know, the guy can become the biggest legend that has ever played this game. And of course, that is today for Faker. But I hope one day we can build him into you know, the absolute biggest legend, at least in the West, which today I think is for Björsen, deservedly. So But I think that now the trend is changing. I think Perks is becoming the best player in the West. And I hope that our help and our support will accentuate that and help him improve that.
Of course, it's always nice to have, you know, a European representative trying to.
Absolutely, I mean, you know, Europe is full of Europeans. North America is full of Europeans. Whatever, you know, we just rule the market.
One last question though. So we've seen on Twitter and like in videos and stuff. You used to have a really good relationship with No Winston, as it seems like.
Yeah.
So what is your relationship now like with Reginald? Did they suffer a bit from the transfer? Do you guys are in contact?
I know I was never like friends with Reginald, but we were never enemies, you know.
Okay.
And I love when in business things are challenging, because otherwise, what is the fun, right?
Yeah.
I could just be investing in funds and just laying down my ass, you know, every day, but it's not gonna happen. I'm doing this because it's thrilling. And it wouldn't be thrilling without people like Reginald, which are very ambitious and want to have the best team all the time. You know, quite frankly, the last EULCS seasons were not that challenging. I would have preferred to win 3-2 in Paris against Misfits with very, very close games, because that's what makes up for my heart attacks, and that's what makes up for Mateusz Sigulski's heart attacks. You know, our fan in Poland, for example.
Oh, okay.
So I just made up a name. So I like that, you know, and I respect when a competitor picks up my players, because it means that he did my job probably better than me, and he made his brand more appealing than mine, and he made his whole proposal for the players more appealing than I did. Fair and square. I love that.
Okay, so a really nice, respectable relationship.
Of course. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll fuck him up next time.
Well, I'm very excited about that. We'll probably see that at MSI, most likely. I mean, if G2...
If we end up winning in Europe, which I think, fingers crossed, we're probably going to meet TSM, and then I mean, I'm gonna invite Reggie to some oyster night, and I'm gonna break all his fingers.
Oh, right.
I'm kidding, man. This is a joke, people. This is a joke. It's not happening.
You do know that Hotshot and Reggie, because they have a rivalry as well. They always have a bet when they play against each other, and like
I don't know why Hotshot will do that. I mean, the poor guy, like pink hair. Yeah, now like big ass thing. No.
So you're not gonna do that?
No, I don't. I like bets that I'm 100% sure I win.
Ah, okay.
A game is a game, you know?
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Anyway, anything you would like to say to the G2 army around the world? This is your chance.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you. Well, you know, there's nothing out of the ordinary here. We work our asses off, as you guys know. you guys see that we create so much high quality content. We spend so many resources, and me myself, I'm so involved in the creation of these content pieces. And for me, like, I have dreams about this. That you guys have goosebumps whenever you watch our videos. That you guys have goosebumps whenever our teams play and win. So for us, the only thing that matters is literally the only thing that matters is how happy you are with us. So the fact that our G2 army is just growing exponentially year over year makes me so incredibly happy and grateful and humbled, and that's it. Sometimes I do have a big mouth. I kind of like that show, but one thing is for real. I'm very truthful. I'm very honest, very forthright, and I'm telling you, everything we did for you. So just know that the G2 army, which I'm also a part of, is there and growing, and we love you.
All right, you heard it from the man himself. Thank you very much for the samurai animation. That was really sick. Not gonna lie. I mean, you had some. The G2's gonna get you. Was kind of. But the.
Oh no! You didn't like what video you didn't like? No, let's talk about this. What the fuck is this?
Okay, so
let's talk about this. Don't cut this. Don't cut this.
No, I'm not.
Let's talk about this.
So the G2 was gonna get you. It was a bit corny. I felt like.
G2's gonna get you. There's the first time someone makes an actual song that you can listen to on a team.
And maybe it's just music taste.
Music, I understood.
Yeah.
Music is. If you ask me, I love the song, right? But music, if you ever watched my streams, you can know. My wife is looking at me right now. You know that my music taste is very funky, right? It's kind of weird. But there are many fans that liked it, many fans that didn't. But the effort that went behind that song, the effort that went behind everything, the creation of the video, the lyrics, everything, is unbelievable. And just going to that level of commitment and intensity when it comes into content creation is what I feel creates a sport, and I hope that other teams are going to do similar things, and I hope that they make better songs and better videos so that I have to step up and make better songs and better videos and better content, because that's what creates all this and the success. I like good competition. I don't want to get bored like these past few years in ULCS. No one did anything. I mean, Fnatic, of course. Fnatic is like, everyone knows Fnatic. Fnatic is great, but come on. Need more.
He's
Step
hungry.
up.
He's hungry.
I'm hungry.
But yeah, the samurai thing was absolutely sick. Loved it.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I mean, and again, with the song, right? Like, I have my opinion, but at least I have a reaction. I have an opinion about it, rather than I have nothing to react to. What I'm not going to do.
Of course. Well, man, thanks a lot. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Very
so
nice
much.
interview.
Thank
I
you.
hope you guys enjoyed it, and
you guys know where to follow him, of course. Maybe give a shout out to Perks or Shadid.
I already gave him a present. What else do you want me to do in public, officially, And if you guys want more videos from this man, visit
the Shotcaller.net or the YouTube channel. Thanks so much. See you guys. Thanks so much, man.
That's going up in Reddit, I promise.
For sure.